Question 3. Why are you acting different? This is the guilt question. The one that messes with your identity. The one that makes you second-guess your growth. The one that makes you wonder if you've become arrogant, distant, or cold. Let me translate it. They're not asking why you changed. They're asking why you no longer fit the role they assigned you. Growth always looks like betrayal to people who benefited from your old limits. When you stop oversharing, when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop being available on demand, when you stop tolerating nonsense, they call it acting different. No, you're acting aligned. You cannot upgrade your life and keep the same dynamics. It's impossible. Someone always loses access. Someone always feels exposed. Someone always feels threatened. So they ask this question hoping you'll apologize for evolving, hoping you'll reassure them that you're still the same, still reachable, still beneath them in some way. Because if you're different, they have to face the fact that they stayed the same. Bonus question. Are you sure some of your friends aren't envying you? This one is projection. People who envy you often accuse others of envy. People who feel behind talk obsessively about competition. People who feel threatened warn you about threats. They'll joke that your success is temporary, downplay your wins, frame encouragement as caution. Projection is how insecurity hides. Sometimes you only see it years later, when you realize who subtly discouraged you, questioned you, or made your growth feel awkward instead of exciting. They weren't trying to hurt you, they were trying to protect their self-image, and that's what makes them dangerous. So what do? You don't confront them, you don't accuse them, you don't explain yourself. You observe. You notice who celebrates you loudly and who only tolerates you politely, who asks questions to learn and who only asks questions to cope, who grows with you and who only feels comfortable around the old you. Because jealousy isn't loud. It's subtle, passive, repetitive. It's the same 3 questions asked at different stages of your growth. Jealous friends don't want your downfall. They want your stagnation. Close enough to compare, far enough not to be outshined. So they don't sabotage you directly. They plant doubt and let you shrink yourself. And if you let them, you will. You don't need to be understood by people committed to misunderstanding your growth. You don't need approval from people who benefited from your limits. You don't need to explain your evolution to anyone who isn't evolving with you. Outgrowing people isn't betrayal. It's evidence. Evidence that something in you decided to live. And here's the truth most people never accept. The real test of friendship isn't who stands by you when you're broken. It's who stays clean when you're becoming unstoppable. If this hit close to home, good. That discomfort isn't paranoia. It's clarity. Someone in your circle is quietly rooting for you to fail. They laugh with you. They hug you. They say, "I'm proud of you." But every time something good happens in your life, they ask one innocent-sounding question that leaves you feeling small, confused, or strangely guilty for winning. That's not curiosity. That's jealousy wearing friendship clothes. And once you hear these 3 questions clearly, you'll never unhear them again. Let's be clear about something first. This isn't about becoming paranoid. It's about becoming aware. Because jealousy doesn't always show up as hate. Sometimes it shows up as concern. Sometimes as jokes. Sometimes as questions that sound normal until you replay them later and think, why would you even ask me that? Almost everyone has asked one of these questions before. The difference is intent. So let's break it down. Question 1. So how did you even manage to do that? On the surface, this sounds supportive, curious, friendly, but tone is everything. A supportive friend asks because they want to learn. A jealous friend asks because they don't believe you deserved it. Notice how it's framed. Not, "I'm proud of you," not, "teach me how you did it." Instead, there's usually a pause, a raised eyebrow, a half smile. Like they're trying to solve a mystery that shouldn't exist, because in their mind, you weren't supposed to win. This question isn't about the process, it's about disbelief. They're scanning for shortcuts, luck, connections, cheating, anything that makes your success feel less valid. They want a flaw in the story. They want relief from the uncomfortable truth that you actually grew. Watch what happens next. When you explain your hard work, they go quiet. When you mention your struggles, they nod like they finally found something. When you say luck played a role, they relax. Because luck means it wasn't really you. A jealous friend hates one thing more than your success, the idea that you earned it. So when someone keeps asking, how did you even manage to do that every time you level up? Understand this. They're not asking to be inspired. They're asking to be reassured that you're not better than them. Question 2. Don't you think you're doing too much? This one is dangerous because it comes dressed as concern. They say they're worried about your balance, your peace, your mental health. But notice something. Nobody asks this when you're stuck. Nobody asks this when you're average. Nobody asks this when you're wasting your potential. They only ask it when you start moving differently, when your schedule changes, your priorities shift, when your goals start costing comfort. Suddenly, you're doing too much. Suddenly, you're not the same anymore. Suddenly, they miss the old you. Of course they do. The old you didn't challenge their position in your life. The old you didn't force them to look at their own stagnation. The old you made them feel safe. This question is a request disguised as advice, a request for you to slow down so they don't feel left behind. A real friend may worry about burnout, but they'll never try to shrink your ambition. They might say rest, but never stop. They might say pace yourself, but never dim your light. A jealous friend wants you comfortable, not fulfilled. Predictable, not powerful. Available, not ascending. So when someone keeps asking if you're doing too much, listen closely. Sometimes too much really means you're doing more than me and it's making me uncomfortable. And that discomfort is not your responsibility.